Okay, so today is the second Saturday of October. Every second Saturday, we concentrate on zip code 60617. And please let me know, you guys, if it's fading in and out so I can talk slower. Hopefully that'll help. This zip code in Chicago is on the east side of Chicago.
Are you fading out now? I can't.
Kansas City. No.
No, you're fading out again.
Let me stop sharing. Maybe that will help. Okay, now I'm stopped sharing. Does that sound better now?
Yes.
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 Well, I need to be able to share that document and they're not letting me. Okay. So
I looked at it real quick. It said 60619.
Yeah, that's that Chatham area, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all what failed, and then I'm gonna show you what succeeded. What failed first and then succeeded.
Oh.
So, all right, Sister Morgan.
Okay, I see Sister Morgan is on, but I can't hear you, Brother Sai.
Same for me. I can't hear you either.
All right, let me come out. Let me come out. I'm gonna come out, you guys. Hold it down. I'm gonna come out.
Okay.
Hi, Karen. Is that you?
It is. Sister Morgan, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Oh, great. Good to see you again on another meeting.
Yes, sorry. I forgot this had to be Eastern Standard Time. I signed on at earlier.
Oh, okay.
And I was the only one there. So I was, this may be Eastern. So that's why I was late.
Now, when you say Eastern, it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I know, but it's 8 o'clock. Well, I can't remember whatever email I got, what the time was. Yes. I thought it meant 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right. Because Brother Sai said he thought he saw you on. So, okay.
Yeah, I was on earlier, much earlier, but I signed off.
Okay. So now it's my understanding that this is the meeting for zip code 60617. Is that correct, Brother Anthony?
No, I believe it's supposed to be for 60619. And yeah, and because I had said that earlier, but on the chart, I think it had, unless it was the wrong chart. But he had 60619 on there. Then he said it was 60617. So
are you in?
Go ahead.
No, are you in 17?
No, I'm in 20. No, I'm actually in 49. I'm new to the organization, and he's allowing me to sit in and listen and learn, what's going on. So to see what service that I can provide one way or the other.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So my name is Anthony. I am in Chicago, and like I say, I went to a meeting that they had the other day, and it was very informative. I liked what I heard, and it had a decent crowd. I just wanted to make sure and find out what was really going on. So that's why I'm just being hands-on and just so I can learn.
All right, I'm back, you guys. Can y'all hear me better?
Yes,
Yeah,
much.
I
yes.
can hear you.
All right, so let me start out with the introduction. Every second Saturday of the month is zip code 60617. Once a month, we call it Duty Day. So only on the second Saturday do we engage the people of 60617 to connect together. So that's what we're doing right now, and it's a success already because at least we got Sister Morgan on, we got Sister Karen on. Brother AJ is not in the zip code, so he don't count as much right now, but he's in training, if you will. So that's why it's good that he's on. But at least two people who didn't know each other in the zip code are now connected. So that's what we want to see. So if we could, I do start the introduction off and we go around. My name is Cy Smith, founder of the National Block Club University, and my zip code is 46402. That's in Gary, Indiana. And before I leave this earth, I want to see Black people loving each other, supporting each other, doing business with each other, while traveling back and forth between here and Africa as if it's not a big deal. So if I can switch it over to Sister Karen, you mind go ahead doing your introduction, Sister Karen?
Yes, I'm Karen, and I am in zip code 60617. And Brother Cy has a very similar idea to me. Before I leave this earth, I would like to see Black people unified and depending on each other. Now, I was born in the 60s, and it might have been just a smaller group of Black people where we all had to depend on each other. But I like the way when you went to the store, it was Black owned. You went over here, it was Black owned. And you know, your whole neighborhood was full of Black people all working together. I definitely want to see us come back to that point. And also to the same end, I would like to, before I leave this planet, have some property in Africa.
Booyah! All right. So, ladies first, let's go ahead, Sister Morgan.
Okay, well, I grew up in the South. I was born and raised there. And then after finishing college, I moved to Chicago, married my husband here, and raised our son in 60617. So I know very little about Chicago until 71. 1971 is when I moved here. My husband and I just a few minutes ago got through finished watching some documentary about Daley and how this community changed, how he changed Chicago and built Robert Taylor and Cabrini Green and all of that. I didn't know anything about that when I got here. Those things had already happened. But I know I grew up in a community where it was extremely segregated, and we had, restaurants or stores, everything was Black. And when we went downtown, we were expected to step off the sidewalk if white people walked down the sidewalk. And so I left my hometown when I went to college in 1965. Basically, a lot of people have left. So it's grown. When I was living there, it was 22,000 people. Now it's about 11,000 people. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things have changed. But I've been here a long time, and I've seen changes over here too. There seemed to be a segregation, but the stores are not owned like they used to be. There used to be so many stores and restaurants that we could go to in 60617 and 60649. And also when I moved on South Shore Drive, there were a lot of professionals living on South Shore Drive. Now the building I moved into is basically Section 8. I don't know what's going on in Chicago, but I do know that as African Americans, to me, we're not keeping up with what's happening. Karen and I attended a meeting on Thursday night, and there was a lot of why are we in this particular building and why, what's with the acoustics and a whole lot of things other than what we were supposed to be there for, and that was public safety and police accountability. And I think we need to get organized as a people, as in communities, really. And one of the things I proposed at the meeting was that block clubs get organized. They need to get organized and figure out how to reduce the violence. And that's my main focus side, is reducing the violence. And I can't, 1 week before I went on my vacation this summer, 3 Black boys walked up to a 14-year-old boy who had just graduated from 8th grade and shot and killed him and stole his cell phone. Now, he didn't have much money. A 14-year-old didn't have much money. I can't figure out why they would why they killed him, knowing he didn't have much money. But those types of things are happening. Then when I got back from vacation, an 86-year-old man was killed in another neighborhood. And I'm trying to figure out these things. Why are we killing each other? Why do I and many of my neighbors do not feel safe to walk the streets anymore in our own neighborhood? This is something new to me, and I think we need to figure that out. That's it.
So it sounds like what you want to see is safety. You want to see safety. That's what's driving you right now, huh?
Oh, totally, totally. I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, and I don't like to fear my own people.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't like that. I grew up in an all-Black neighborhood. We all knew each other. We all supported each other. And like Karen said, that's what I want to go back to also. Even though the neighborhood is segregated, but it does not have to be violent.
Big time. Okay. All right. We're good. So let's go to we got to go ladies first, AJ. So Rady, you go ahead and do your introduction. Rady, you there? All right. He may be muted. I can't see.
I'm sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're doing introduction. So what zip code, what you want to see happen before you leave this earth? Your name, of course.
My name is Rady. I'm in 60617. I've been over here for 20 plus years. I totally agree with the lady that spoke right before me, because they tried to make me a victim, but I fought back. And I've been over here 20 plus years. When I first moved over here, I could walk to the beach and back and didn't have any problems, and everything has changed. And what is happening too is that these young people don't believe it takes a village to raise a child. You can't say nothing to these people about their kids, and you can't say anything to these people's kids. I'm sorry, but some of these people don't even need kids, and they need to listen to somebody. And that's like pulling teeth. I have to say that. And I would love to see our communities go back to the way that I was raised too, when it took that whole village to raise a child, and somebody could call your mama and tell them what you were doing outside, and you got a whooping from that neighbor and then a whooping from your parent. Young people don't believe in this. They don't take the kids to church. They took prayer out of school, and that was like the only thing some of these kids had. And their problems is too that they don't know the Lord. And I have to say that because if they did, they would have a conscience. These people are not teaching these kids to have a conscience about things that they do. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now.
All right. So AJ, brother AJ, you got the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Brother AJ. I'm just here to listen and learn and write down things and try to help us figure out a strategy that we could use to go block by block to help people to actually learn to be willing to participate and be open-minded about making a change in their life. Because if they're not willing to make any changes, then we're going to continue to have this problem. So, and we just have to go, like you said, block by block, house by house for the time being, until we have at least enough support on one side of the block to go to the other side of the block to pull people out of the insanity that we all under, because it's all a mind game, and we fall and prey to it and have been susceptible to the systematic creation of this existence of what we see today. So in case you didn't know, I used to be, I'm still a minister. I don't like to use that title because people get the wrong idea about that, but I am who I am. And what I would like to see before I leave here is to leave a legacy of love and something that says that we were here and we put an effort to make a change to all the people.
Excellent, excellent. All right, good
Yeah.
stuff. So, and we don't have anyone else on. I can't see anyone else on that didn't introduce themselves. Okay, so here's why we're gathered here. The whole mission is about making our community safer. I personally believe it's lifestyle. It's lifestyle, and lifestyle has three components that we push: habits, schedule, network. Habits, schedule, network. That's HSN, and that's not Home Shopping Network. That's habits, schedule, network. And when we get to the killing that we're dealing with in our community, what you're going to find is most of the shooters, most of the robbers, if you look at their habits, what they do, second nature, that's a problem. If you look at their schedule, too much time on their hands, you'll see that's a problem. When you look at who they hang out with, their network, you're going to see that's a problem. So HSN is the key. The way we see it, block by block, is we got to get in there, and it's going to be done person by person, house by house, block by block. So what we've done is put a system, a structure, and a system behind that. And I don't want to go too deep. I want to focus on right here, these zip codes. And so what you're looking at right now is Chatham. Last Wednesday was the second Wednesday. It was Chatham's once a month meeting. Just like today, it's 60617 once a month meeting. Okay, so I want to point to you what didn't happen that should have happened. So since we know every second Wednesday, this zip code should at least talk to each other. Because what's happened for us is we're all in our silos doing our own thing. We call it DMOT, doing my own thing. DMOT is dangerous for a group of people who's targeted by a global anti-Black conspiracy. So we can't afford to just do our own thing when we got attacks happening to us from every angle imaginable. So I'm gonna go through what Chatham did that was not functional, and I'm being respectful. Our leader for Chatham is outstanding. I did update and talk to her, but I just want y'all to see the first blue bucket says business. All right, let me see if I can zoom in so you guys can see that. The first blue bucket is business. We have a tow truck driver in the zip code. We have a print shop, a funeral director, a realtor, and a guitarist that didn't talk to each other for a whole month. They didn't. So the business people doing what they got to do to put food on their table, but they didn't talk to each other. The second bucket is protests. Now, there are protests over there, but we didn't talk to any of them, and they didn't talk to us, at least in October. The third bucket is the safety bucket, people who just in, police, fire, martial arts, military. So we have a police officer that's retired over there, an Army veteran, and a martial arts person. They didn't talk to each other. That zip code 60619 manages our fifth graders citywide. Nothing happened there with our leader in charge of that. If you move over to the orange bucket, that's the construction bucket. We have a landscaper we know over there and a scrapper. They go through the alleys getting stuff and cash it in. They didn't talk to each other. Team 6 is our racism bucket. That's mainly our people that care about race relations. We don't have anyone that in that bucket. The 7th bucket is the food bucket. We have Captain Hard Times, restaurant owner over there. We didn't talk to them. And then the last one is the 8th bucket, which is the legal bucket. That is both politicians, it's also judges and lawyers. We got Ted London over there in that zip code. We didn't talk to him. So underneath here, I put down there where you see failed at, failed. And so this zip code, like many of our zip codes, failed to do what you see right there, which is all those buckets talking to each other. And on this one day of the month that keeps repeating 12 times a year, once a month, can we at least share what each other is doing? On the left is what happened. What happened on the left? Individuality. everyone doing their own thing. All right.
Yeah.
I want to get y'all thoughts on this because I'm going to put y'all up here. I'm going to show today, and I'm about to show you what's happening today. But give me your thoughts on this first before I move over to you guys. What y'all think?
So I'm guessing nobody showed up for the meeting for their day.
They didn't talk to each other. So remember, the key is, can y'all at least update each other so that you know where is opportunities at? If that teacher, you know what I mean, is updating us on something that the business people can help with, that makes sense to do that.
Okay.
Did you copy that?
Yeah, that's like getting on the duty call. Is that the same thing?
It's every aspect. It's in person, it's on the phone, it's Zoom. The biggest thing is, are you sharing with your other person about what's happening at least once a month so we can be better coordinated? However you do it. Some people might do text, some people might do Zoom. The point is we trying to carve out space and time to keep in touch with each other about what's happening.
Okay, I get it now. Any way you share.
So some of our elders, they might not do texting at all, but they'll pick up the phone and call. That's fine. Long as these 8 buckets is keeping each other up to date, at least we are connected. And that's what the biggest piece here is. If you look at individuality, everyone is in their silo doing their own thing. So you might not be synergizing with each other is the point.
Okay.
So, Sister Morgan, this is your first time hearing it. What you think?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. That's basically what I'm thinking. I've seen that, I don't know. It seemed like when I first came to Chicago, I observed that type of behavior. Everybody's in their own little silos. I lived across the hall from my neighbor from Louisiana for about 6 months and didn't know she was my former neighbor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. And we just happened to we'd leave out every morning going to work. I'd see her. But one day I happened to sit in the elevator. She didn't have on makeup. She didn't have a hat on her head. And I saw her and I reminded her of because she was much older than me. So she didn't know who I was as a young child. But I told her she knew my family. But then that's what's happening here. People stick to their own homes and do their own thing. But we're not going to make it like that. It does take a village. It really does. People need to get to know, even if they live in a high rise like I did at that time. If they live in a high rise, they need to form, some type of group and work together.
Oh no, go ahead, finish your thought.
I'm sorry. That's basically it. I'm not surprised. There's a lot of distrust. There's mistrust. People don't trust each other here for some reason. I don't know if that is. I think Karen was saying that in the day, it wasn't like that. Or she could go to the community store that was Black, different. And I observed that when I first came to this city. But now you hardly even have a soul food restaurant to go to.
Yeah. So let's go to you guys today. This is Saturday, October 14th. Today is a victory because we have Sister Morgan on, Sister Barnes on, that's in the zip code 60617. We have 60649 supporting you guys today with Rady, and we have AJ, 60649. And now I want to read to you
I'm
what
sorry,
we know.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm 60617.
Oh yeah, I keep mixing you up because, okay, all right. Well, there's 3 things. We got 3 victories here. So watch this. Under business 1, the blue bucket, we have a realtor on here in the zip code. We have a skincare professional. We have a radio personality and an accountant in the zip code. I talked to 2 of those 4 today. Invited them to get on tonight. Prior engagements, they couldn't do it, but they know every second Saturday. So you miss this one, catch the next. All right. No one in the protest that we know of. No one in safety that we know of. You guys may know police, firefighters. We need to know them so we can see if they're willing to occupy that green bucket, which is what they do for a living already. But look what we have. We have someone on the phone with us, on the Zoom with us right now, who's in the yellow bucket, and that is
Dr. Morgan.
You see that, Sister Morgan?
Yes.
So you got skills, history, experience to talk about education. This is what God allows you to do. And so you can update the other buckets about what's happening from your vantage point. The fifth bucket there, the orange one, is anyone that's in construction. We do have a brother that's a laborer in the factory. I did check in with him. The sixth bucket is anyone that cares about race relations.
My husband is in the fifth bucket. He's a retired iron worker, journeyman iron worker. And that's
Watch this.
James Morgan. Yeah, retired journeyman iron worker. Local 6-3.
Now, you see how that just went in there just that quick. We got that. And that's what needs to happen. That's what Duty Day is about. Updating, filling in these buckets so that we can be more coordinated as a people. Y'all see that? So
Yes.
The seventh bucket is a grocer. Sister Karen got a black grocery store to donate pennies to Africa. We know we got him. That's under our food. And then the eighth bucket is...
Oh, he changed ownership. I went by there Wednesday to do my Wednesday by Black, and I noticed the name changed, and it was two Arab-looking guys there, and I was like, "Hey, you changed your name?" And they were like, "Yeah, we under new management." I was like, "Ah."
Well,
So-
guess what? I just took them off. I just said, go.
Yep.
So, but thanks for the update. Again, the benefit of communicating, coordinating once a month minimum. That's what this is about. So look at what we just did. We just went through like 8 areas, and we talked about, we got this updated information, got an iron worker, but that don't mean the iron worker is going to want to work with people. But at least we know we have a retired iron worker in the neighborhood. So that's what I want to make it clear. We just need to know what we have. It don't matter if they participate or not. That's separate. That's totally separate. Put that all the way in the back burner. What do we have? What do we have? Do y'all see that? Like, that's the number one goal, is to know what we're working with first.
Yes.
Okay. So already you guys did not fail, because we at least got orange, yellow, and blue talking. And that's what's key. So now, unless you guys have any questions, I want to come out of this, and I want to come into this next one here to really highlight what we're doing here. All right, here we go, right here. So let me share this with you guys so y'all can see. Okay, so this is what needs to happen, because we've been compromised our whole existence in this country. And so we can really just count on us. Like, it got to be us doing for self, because we know the world benefits on keeping us at the bottom. We see that every year with the G7 and the G20. When they meet, their whole meeting is about making sure they keep getting the raw materials from our people in the continent, and make sure the blacks don't connect with the continent, so we have some national effort, some global effort to keep them from getting the diamonds, the potash, all the minerals for nothing. So please know, we have help being in the boat that we in. Right now in Chicago, we're dealing with this migrant crisis. And so it's manufactured, but I think for black people, it is a salt in the wound to give any money to anybody until you do right by the people who built this global economy. And that's our ancestors. So what's getting ready to happen is, in all our wards where black people are in leadership, we're going to put this structure behind every single ward, whether they like it or not. I just went through what those teams are, teams 1 through 8, but I'm saying that so you guys know this is the way forward for Black life. It's us knowing the 8 teams, so we'll know how to put each other's people and our own people in the right bucket. Because when you're in the right bucket, now you're in formation. And when you're in formation, now you can go on the offensive. If you're not in formation, you're on the defense. And guess what we've been on for a long time?
Decent.
We've been on the defense. Everywhere you turn, we getting attacked versus us going on the offense. So by having teams 1 through 8 in every single ward, we now, once we do the census and find out who to fill into each bucket, now we in the position, team 5 is construction, to say, here's our team 5 people in every ward. Let's look at the contracts that the city is giving to non-Black people in Black wards. Y'all see that?
Absolutely. Mhm.
They hung a dummy up in the 15th ward outside a Black person's house. They hung it like hanging Black people. That's a team 6 issue in the 15th ward. Is there any other instances that didn't make the news? That's what a team 6 job is. Let's find out where racism is overt so we can make sure we document that and we come together with a team 6 plan. So y'all see how this is shaped up? It's designed so we take power back and we get it so that everyone can be in a lane and those lanes connect once a month so they can update each other. What do y'all think about this?
Sounds good. Excellent idea. Concept.
It's needed.
I see how this same plan could put us back where we were when I was a girl. I can go right to the person in my neighborhood who I know is Black and get the things that I need.
Come on. This ain't rocket science, y'all. It's not rocket science. This just, we got to do it. So that's what this is. We just got to do it. So I just wanted to make sure that we at least touch bases. It don't have no set time. You know, we got to stay on here an hour. But the biggest deal, the last thing I'm going to show you guys is the last name solution. But the biggest thing is that we're staying connected. That's what the enemy, so the biggest detriment for us is ISE. That's isolation, that's starvation, and then exploitation. So ISE is how they have been attacking us for over 500 years. They isolate us. That's what these wars is. This isolation. We throw away the wars, we Black. No matter where we at, we Black. But they got it separated. So now they got it separated. Now we don't talk. 24th ward ain't talking to the 18th ward. 18th ward ain't talking to the 6th ward because I'm in my ward. Yeah, that's what the enemy wants. He wants you to stay in your little small, isolated bungalow so that we can then continue to attack one and tell one you got something they didn't get and create chaos. What do y'all think about that?
Absolutely correct.
So this a threat to them. Only the city council supposed to do this in their eyes. Only the city council bring everyone together in all the wards. But we saying no more. No more. No. Black people go have our own version of self-government. So that's the way I see this.
I recently saw a documentary where they said when they were doing the migration from the South, that the Black people that already lived in Chicago, the white people told them, don't socialize with these people coming up from the South. They're not groomed and they're not intelligent and just negative stuff, which made them actually form their own organizations. And so my thing too is at what point do we stop doing what they keep telling us to do and do what's best for us?
That's right. That's right. The day is coming. We're here now, and we're about to see some stuff we never seen before. And I know since Karen referenced how it used to be, I get this story, you guys. It's going to be better than it used to be because the way it used to be was a mirage. You had affluent Blacks that couldn't wait to get the heck away from the poor Blacks. And the minute the laws changed to do that, guess what they did? They ran right back to the same people who did them wrong and moved in their neighborhoods and started calling racism. Well, you went behind them. What you expect?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah.
So that's the key there. So we gotta just know we go be smarter this time, this go around, where we go have people who really wanna help see us achieve our potential, because we have a lot of potential, and that's the key, is to maximize it. So while I pull this next slide up, the last one, anyone have anything that's going on that we should talk about or that you know is coming up? Anybody?
Well, I can plug this. On next Saturday, on the 21st, I'm a part of a group, The Power of Women, Inc., and we're going to be celebrating the unsung sheroes at a high tea party at Rainbow Push at 1 o'clock.
Say it one more time, because it's on YouTube too, so people can hear it.
Did I say it too fast? I'm part
No,
of a
it's
group.
just always good to say it a second time so people
Oh,
who
okay,
they
great.
want to write it down.
I'm part of a group, the Power of Women, Inc. And next Saturday at 1 o'clock at Rainbow Push, we're going to be celebrating 10 women, the unsung sheroes. And these are people who've worked in our community or from our community who didn't get recognition. And it's just a chance to honor women. Well, it's going to also be a high tea event, so we can dress up in our hats and gloves. And the tickets are $25 if you would like to go.
Excellent. 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 Now that's good. Thanks for that update. So let's do this. And I want to just show you guys this too. This just popped up and I think it's important for y'all to see this. So many of you guys heard of the G20. Do y'all know what the G20 is? Anybody?
Yes.
And just so y'all know how relevant the G20 is to our daily lives, if you go to Dollar General or Family Dollar and you go near the checkout, that's where they have all the candy bars, the chocolate. And if you look, they have one called sea salt, and it says Belgium chocolate, Belgium. The ones that kill more black Congolese than the Jews with Hitler. They killed 15 million compared to 6 million of the Jews. And they killed them 23 years before they did the 6 million Jews. So because Black lives didn't matter with the 15 million in Congo, we had this other one happen with the same people who had that imperialistic attitude. But the point is, chocolate don't grow in Europe. It can't grow in Europe. It's not warm enough. So they went to Africa, took the cocoa, put their name on it, and now they're selling it in black neighborhoods all over. And we are buying it because we don't know that at the G20, they negotiated that deal. Did y'all know that the chocolate don't grow there and they got their name European chocolate on almost all the candy bars?
No, I was not aware of that.
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah, so we got to know that it is truly, we call it the global anti-Black conspiracy because they meet every year, and it's not about repairing the wrongs of what they forefathers did. It's about continuation of it, not repairing. And so I wanted to make sure that we don't drink the Kool-Aid of what they're promoting. And they're using, believe it or not, the Democratic Party to make us sleepwalk, if you will, make us comfortable with our conditions while they continue to pillage and take from our people. So what you're looking at right here are all Black people, African people who are born in these other countries because of the evilness of slavery. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell you which countries these are. These are the G20 member countries, just so y'all know. So there you go. That's an Afro-Russian brother right there. He's born in Russia, Afro-Russian. These are Afro-Turkey people right there. Those are Afro-Saudi Arabian. That's an Afro-Japanese, an Afro-Korean, and Afro-Australian. They are living behind enemy lines right now, and you never hear about them. They are, every month I have to go and find what's up to date with them, and it's buried in the news. They don't even bring them up. They don't even want them to be known that they are those ethnic groups in those countries. All right. So I haven't put these here, but I'm gonna separate them now so you guys know. What we have here, this one right here, are our people that's from Indonesia, Afro-Indonesians, right here. These are Afro-Mexicans, right here. 2 million of them living in Mexico, Afro-Mexican. And you never hear about them.
Do they identify as Black?
Watch this. Perfect question. Whether they identified or not, guess what? The government don't even recognize them. They don't even count them in the census until lately in a lot of these countries. So they identify themselves as that country, but we got to know that they put the labels on them. So whether they say they Mexican or not, they, to the government, are Afro-Mexicans to separate them from the regular Mexicans.
So they're segregated?
Oh man, all of these pictures you're seeing, they live in the worst parts of the country, where the mountains, where water's everywhere. They do not live in the prime places, even though their ancestors built these countries. Afro-Mexicans are the ones that fought Spain for their independence, and the non-African Mexicans ran away. It was the Afro-Mexicans that stood and fought and got the victory. You never hear about that. They celebrate with all their Mexican flags, but they ran. It was the Afro-Mexicans that died on the front line. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. They left them behind.
Yeah, they got the heck up out of there because, again, we understand who the warriors are. So, all right. So here we have the, let me see, this is 6062. I had it broken down so we can remember. Here's a better slide of it. Okay. So yeah, that's the Afro-French. That lady right there, the Afro-French. This is the Afro-Irish. And if you guys didn't know, this again, how it affects us. The U.S. government gave $543 million to the Irish of U.S. tax money for them to train their kids in Ireland about bullying and being good leaders. Y'all copy that?
Wow.
Since 1986. They have given $543 million to Ireland. It's a group called IEI, and it's the International Irish something. But they got this money from U.S. government so that the Irish kids can learn about bullying and not bullying. And this is a travesty for every Black kid that didn't get as much funding they should have got, that you see the need to put resources over there. But again, they meet every year at the G20, and this is the type of stuff that's discussed, y'all. Okay, so I bring that up. So now let's go to y'all zip code today. 60617 is, I don't know if y'all can see that right there, Canada. So 60617 on today watches what Canada is doing for all of our Afro-Canadians. Y'all know who picture that is? Anybody recognize him?
Is it the same picture?
Now, down there, see it at the bottom, it says Canada 60617.
I can't see it.
Let me see if I can blow it
Oh,
up. Here.
oh, Canada 17. Oh, okay.
It's not letting me move it. Shucks. Okay. But that's the picture of Drake. Drake is Canadian, you guys.
Oh, that's right. He is Canadian.
Yeah, let's go right here. This is right here. He is Afro-Canadian. So I want to make sure, Ms. Morgan, you know why this is relevant. A meeting takes place every year. This year was September 11th weekend. And the meeting is all about growing their economies. They don't grow their economies unless they exploit Africa. So it's a direct meeting. It's not all of them meeting to make the world better and safer. It's about how to grow my economy. And almost every one of them are growing their economy by extracting the natural resources out of Africa for pennies on the dollar. So what we got to do about it is we have to make certain that teams 1 through 8 is organized, because your husband being an iron worker, some of the minerals they use to make iron are found in Africa, and they getting it at pennies on the dollar. And so your husband, when he's in that meeting and we talking about that, he can give us real life intel on what's happening. And the key for us to know is that the only thing left for Black people to do, and y'all can write this down, the only thing left for Black people to do because of our structure is we have to know 15 things. And I just gave y'all 8 of them. That's the 18s. That's our new structure for Black life, that structure. And the 7 daily living habits. 7 daily living habits. And the 7 daily living habits is our new system. And the system is what keeps taking place over and over and over again. That's what the system is. So every Friday is Seniors Day. That keeps happening every Friday. Love on the seniors. So it don't matter what happens, Friday, love on the elders. That system. And it's 7 daily living habits. So when we talked about the shooting and killing, remember, it's habits, schedule, network. That's the problem. So we need, what's the new habits for these lost souls out here? You know, how we gonna give them structure in their life so that they can be better and live better. And so those 7 daily living habits, these 18s, are the 15 things that every Black person should know eventually. It don't matter how long it takes, but they should know this. And then it's 3 things we got to do. Once we do these 3 things, the whole world will change for Black people. And the reason why I can say that with confidence is because we have a structure that reaches 20 countries in Africa and 20 G20 countries. And we've already begun reaching out to the Afros in all G20 countries. And so with that structure, we got the whole world covered, and it's systematized so that Canada is covered through y'all. So Westside ain't got to worry about Canada. Y'all covering Canada. Y'all covering Tanzania and Africa. So it's set up so that we're sharing this workload of making Black society better. And it all comes through Chicago 20 zip codes. 20 zip codes in Chicago is the global headquarters to change the whole Black society. And then the 3 things we got to do is called text, conference, and then $12. TC12 we call it. And let me give justification for TC12. So TC12 because the texting is the informal way of connecting Black people. And for those who's not experienced with this, if you go to Black people and try to connect them, it's like trying to save someone drowning. They would drown you trying to save them. So you got to have a strategy on how you're going to connect to people who might not want to be connected. Talk to your son. I want you to meet this mentor. I don't want to meet him. That's what you get, right? So what texting allows us to do, it softens the introduction. It softens the interaction. And later, after the texting connects, then you go with the conference where you are face to face. But don't go face to face first. I don't like the way he looked. So you first start with the texting to get that relationship, build a habit, get them used to interacting. Then you graduate to the conference in person or on Zoom. And then we got to finance this. If we waiting on grants, if we waiting on Uncle Tom, Uncle Government to do this, we setting ourselves up for failure. So we must have Team 7, our business people, doing their part. We must have our education people doing their part. We must have our construction. If everyone is doing their part, pulling the money together, and we're 46 million strong in America, 46 million people doing this $1 a month is $46 million a month. That's how scalable this is. And if we only get 25% of that, that's still 11.5 million. So just know that the biggest thing is, do we have something that everyone can participate in, i.e. the $1 and $12? And do we have something once they do it that they can stay a part of? That's where these buckets come in at. Because if you're a teacher doing 12, where my $12 going? Good. Here's what we're doing on education. Every Tuesday, Daily Living Habits Education, we're doing awards for the K through 12th graders. All right, if you're doing construction, okay, good. Part of your $12 is going so that on Friday we rebuilding the senior porch for free, or we paint the senior house. Something. So the point is, our system tells us every day what we're looking at. Our structure allows us to be in the right bucket, so we in formation. And your $12 allow us to finance everything we're talking about. So TC12, text conference $12, along with everyone knowing teams 1 through 8 and the 7 day living habits, is the game changer for Black life all around the world. Now, shoot holes through that. What do y'all think?
Change is good.
Do it sound believable? It's like, nah, that ain't gonna never happen.
Only if you think like that.
I think a lot of people are looking for change and unity. I know what happened down there in Alabama. It gave us hope that we can unite. And I think we're also dealing with another generation of these young people too, the ones that have went to college. Not to say, because I didn't go to college, so I'm not trying to say they better, but they're a little more structured and want to change as well. And so I think we have a lost group of people, and those are those kids that kind of grew up on that public aid and made it a way of life. And as you said, letting the government hand us stuff, and it handicapped us. And so I think if we can get that young group of people to get a little mindset change and show them that we are united, I think it's definitely possible.
I agree with you. And I would say not just possible, but it's going to happen. Like, it's going down. And here's the key. Here's the key that I want to make sure you guys know. Secretly, I did share it already. Like, if you helping someone, they can drown you trying to help them. So I think the key for us to know is it's called invisible organizing. And what that is how you get production out of a person without them fully being aware. So, and that might sound bad, but guess what? They doing it to us already. So it's a good thing we go do it. They love on our people than the people who doing it to us every second anyway. So what that means is, when I share with you guys that every zip code is managing something, is coordinating something, your zip code 60617 manages our teachers club. All the people who are teachers, retired teachers, active teachers, young people that want to be teachers. So by having that structure in place, anytime we meet a teacher, it allows us to find out in their world, do they got a carpenter? Then that goes over to Team 5 bucket. They're a teacher though. So on today, which is Teachers Day, we're able to then say, all of our teachers, can we do something to go out there on 87th and Jeffrey and just feed the homeless, or give them winter coats or whatever we're going to do. But the point is, we're agreeing to go where people normally wouldn't get involved at all. And when we out there engaging them and talking to them, we go find out that homeless guy got a 4th grade son. So now we get to link that 4th grade son. Now he's participating without him even knowing it. Well, how is he participating? Because finding out that 4th grade son will allow us to link the bricklayers with his 4th grade son. It's going to allow us to link. So the point is, even a person that don't want to be active door to door, active in the community, when they tell us information, because of our structure, we get to fill in buckets. You know, that homeless guy might say, my mama a teacher. Great. Now we got another person we can get in touch with for the Teachers Club. So I just want y'all to know, even if they don't per se flow with us overtly, the information they give us allow us to put them in the right bucket. Yeah, I know you got to go. That's fine. Thanks for joining me. So I just wanted to put that out there so you guys know. And it is 8 o'clock, so we got to cut it. Anybody want to give some thoughts on that before we end this?
I'm good. Very good presentation. I
So
appreciate
the next step.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, AJ.
No, go ahead.
So we're going to be meeting on Saturday, October 28th. Saturday, October 28th, 3 to 5 o'clock. Right now, it's going to be at 7646 South Marquette. But that may change because we might have this church that opened up for us. But that's our sister Phyllis who's hosting us. And this is our summit that we do on the 4th Saturday of each month. So I'll make sure that everyone gets that flyer, especially if we rotate it, so you can come out and be in fellowship with other people helping us to move this agenda forward.
Great. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your time. Enjoy. Be safe out there. And